Debate on Article 1, Understanding the Framers' Vision. Hello and welcome back to the UPSC Sage. Today we are diving into an important chapter in the making of the Indian Constitution, the debate around Article 1. Now, why was this debate so important? Because in these few lines, our leaders had to define what India would be and how it would hold together, a land of incredible diversity. So let's break it down and look at the perspectives of some of the key figures who shaped Article 1. This will help you understand the thinking and vision behind defining India, that is Bharat, as a union of states. Let's jump in. First up, we have Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. As the head of the drafting committee, he is introducing Article 1, which reads, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. Ambedkar chose these words carefully. Union of states was meant to unify India, but still allow some autonomy to individual states. But as he spoke, not everyone agreed with this approach. H.V. Kamath's objection to India. Now, let's meet H.V. Kamath. He raised an objection to the name India. According to Kamath, the term India was given to us by colonial rulers. He felt we should use only Bharat, which he believed carried a deeper connection to our ancient heritage. In his view, calling our country Bharat would remind us of our long history and our cultural roots. Kamath's statement, Dr. Ambedkar, I feel strongly that we should use Bharat to reflect our heritage. India is merely a name imposed upon us by foreigners. Kamath's point is clear. Names carry meaning, and he wanted the name to reflect India's cultural depth. Jawaharlal Nehru's response, balancing tradition and modernity. But here's where Jawaharlal Nehru steps in. He acknowledges Kamath's feelings, but he explains why India also deserves a place in our constitution. He believed that since the freedom struggle had united the country under the name India, it was something to respect and keep as well. Plus, India had gained recognition around the world, so it helped connect us globally. Nehru's statement, Mr. Kamath, I appreciate the pride you have in our history, but India is also important. It's under this name that we fought for our freedom. Both names, India and Bharat, represent who we are, past and present. Nehru's response showed his understanding of both tradition and the global perspective, which was crucial in framing our identity as a modern nation. K.T. Shah's argument for federalism. Now, K.T. Shah, an economist, had a different concern. He felt that union of states might give too much power to the center, which could overshadow the state's independence. Shah was worried that calling India a union didn't go far enough to recognize the importance of local governance and diversity. K.T. Shah's statement, why not call India a federation of states? This would make it clear that each state has the freedom to govern its affairs without too much interference from the center. Shah's focus here was on federalism, or giving states more freedom to manage their own affairs. He wanted to ensure that the diversity of India's regions was respected within the constitution itself. Explanation of key terms. Before we go further, let's break down a few key terms that were central to this debate: federalism, unionism, and national identity. Understanding these concepts will help you see why each member had such strong opinions. Federalism. Federalism is a system of governance where power is divided between a central authority and various states. Each state has autonomy over certain matters, with the central government overseeing broader issues. Members like K.T. Shah supported a federal system to give states more control. Unionism. Unionism, as Patel expressed, emphasizes a strong, indivisible central government that holds the nation together. Patel felt that the term union of states reinforced unity while allowing diversity, essential for a country like India after partition. National identity. National identity is how a nation perceives itself and wants to be recognized by the world. H.V. Kamath argued that using only Bharat would honor India's heritage, while Nehru supported both India and Bharat to balance tradition with modernity. With these terms in mind, you can see how each leader's viewpoint was influenced by their vision for India's future. Federalism aimed to empower states, unionism prioritized unity, and the debate on national identity balanced heritage with progress. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's response, the need for unity, But Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who had been instrumental in unifying India post-partition, felt differently. For him, the term union was crucial to prevent any possibility of fragmentation. Patel worried that a federation could give the impression that states could break away if they wished, which he believed was dangerous for a newly independent country. Sardar Patel's statement, Dr. Shah, we must ensure that our constitution binds us together. A federation implies states could separate, but our union of states is firm. It keeps us united while allowing for diversity. Patel's emphasis was on unity. To him, a strong center was necessary to keep the country together, especially given the challenges India faced after partition. Maulana Azad's perspective, balancing unity and diversity. Then, we have Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, a leader known for his wisdom and his vision of a multicultural India. Azad supported Patel's call for unity, but also believed in honoring India's diversity. He felt that union of states was the perfect phrase to recognize the country's different languages, religions, and customs while still creating a single, united India. Maulana Azad's statement, our strength lies in unity without uniformity. Union of States acknowledges our many identities but brings us together as one. Azad's perspective reinforced the idea that India's identity is enriched by its differences, a powerful reminder that unity doesn't have to mean sameness. H.V. Kamat's final plea for Bharat. Despite these discussions, Kamath made one last appeal for the exclusive use of Bharat, arguing passionately that it should be the sole name. His commitment was rooted in a deep respect for history and culture. Kamath's statement, let Bharat be our only name. It's a name that reflects our ancient wisdom and heritage. Kamath's plea reminds us of the weight our leaders gave to every word, understanding that names shape national identity. Dr. Ambedkar's final remarks. Finally, Dr. Ambedkar made his closing remarks. He wanted to respect both perspectives, the ancient and the modern, and believed that both India and Bharat should stand together. Dr. Ambedkar's statement. Mr. Kamath, we understand the importance of Bharat, but we also recognize the global significance of India. Let us be both India and Bharat, reflecting both our heritage and our vision for the future. Ambedkar's words captured the balance the framers were striving for, showing that both names represent the essence of India's identity. Nehru's final agreement. Nehru supported this compromise, agreeing that India, that is Bharat, would include all aspects of our identity. The debate was resolved, and Article 1 was passed with a language that binds both unity and diversity. And that's how Article 1, a simple phrase with profound meaning, was crafted to capture the heart of India's identity. It reminds us that while we are many, we are ultimately one nation. I hope this exploration gave you a clearer view of the careful thought our leaders put into every word. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into India's history and the making of its constitution. Until next time, on the UPSC Sage, keep learning and keep growing.